Images tell stories and convey emotion and can sometimes inspire real change. In the medium of documentary, cinematography can move beyond aesthetics to become a tool for social commentary and personal expression. When shooting a documentary, you're often working as both the director and the cinematographer. This puts you in the unique position of thinking from a story perspective, as well as a visual one. You're required to think about capturing the footage in the present moment, whilst also shaping the story in your head for the edit. Let's go through some of my favorite techniques for capturing cinematic footage on a documentary project. When it comes to cinematography, planning is essential. Very little is in your control as the story progresses in a documentary, so you have to get ahead of the story and choose how you film. Two ways I like to do this are by choosing the locations and the time of day that we do our shoots. A few things can go wrong if you don't. Loud sounds, lack of lighting, busy areas, safety, these are all elements that should be considered when picking your location. Here's an example of a good location and time of day we used in my documentary. I chose to shoot early morning around 5 a.m. because that's when the streets were quiet. The light was great and we had access to this particular location, which would normally have been busy with local security and pedestrians. For the story, this was perfect for when the subject is talking about his past as a young man. It serves to illustrate how you can set the mood and tone of your movie with location and time of day, just by thinking about how it fits into the bigger story. My second tip is to shoot for the edit. In the commercial world, everything is scripted, shot listed, and storyboarded before it's approved for shooting. In documentary, we work with a little bit less structure, but that doesn't mean we can't plan ahead to ensure we capture the best shots when an opportunity arises. When you're filming a documentary, it's important to think about the editing process, because sometimes the full story isn't yet defined. Consider how your footage will fit together into scenes and how it will contribute to the overall story. This means getting a variety of shots, such as wide shots, medium shots, and close-ups, to give the editor plenty of options. It also means thinking about each phase of your story, scene by scene, so you know how it all comes together. I like to have this all written down before I start shooting, so at least I know what the plot is, what the drama is, and how we eventually stitch it all together in post. Lighting can be a powerful tool for conveying mood and tone. Consider the mood you want to create and use lighting to enhance it. Does the story take place during the day or at night? Is it dawn or dusk? Is it blue or golden hour? You could use natural light to create a warm and inviting atmosphere, or use artificial light to create a sense of drama or tension. Just because you're shooting a factual story doesn't mean that it has to look flat. Try to think of ways you can use the light around you in order to tell the story. Your location can help you to set the mood. Look at these two scenes with different lighting setups. Both locations could tell the same story, but the way the lighting is set up shows a different mood entirely. Backlighting is a simple technique to give your subjects a more 3D looking aesthetic by placing your subject between the camera and a light source behind the subject. This gives your image a more beautiful contrast and shape. Backlighting isn't always possible when you're running low on time, but more often than not, I'm always able to ask a subject to move so it favors my camera in a pleasing way. The last and final advice is to capture the emotion of your story. It can be too easy to find yourself constantly filming whilst the story unfolds, without any real intention behind what you're capturing. Instead, you could think about what each scene means to the story and how you could capture it in a way that brings your audience deeper into the character's world. If you're filming someone making a painting, could you focus on their face rather than the canvas? This way, the character's emotions are on display and indicate what they're feeling in that particular moment.
The problem with our culture is that our stories were told by other people. They will never tell you a good story about yourself. We need creative people that have the ability to go in this emptiness and get all the stories out. My name is Nelson Carrillo. I'm a sculptor.
You can look at the surroundings where the painting is taking place, see what artwork they have on the wall, how clean or messy the room is, and use these shots to advance your story in the edit without getting your character to say what can be told in seconds. So that's it. Those are my 5 tips on documentary cinematography and how we can start to think a little bit about how we capture our footage. Documentary can be unpredictable, and by using these techniques, you can add more intention to your cinematography and create images that connect with your audience on a deeper level. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel and newsletter for more content like this. Thank you.